How's it going, everybody? I had a couple questions, or several questions actually, on these little spigots. Obviously there are several companies that sell something very similar to this. There's nothing really unique about my setup, other than the fact that it is my own designed spacer and gasket that's inside, and then just kind of how, what kit I've got set up as. Some asked me if it was male or female threads. This was, some of the photos just have the stainless cap on it, so that's all that is. No, it is not vented. That was another question I had. I haven't found one that's suitable, that's vented and being able to fit onto the RotopaX the way these do. And obviously, it does not work great when there's no vent to it. But what I've done is, like I'd shown on the other photos, is that I've got one of these little fuel tank vents on it and this is, I've got this set up specifically for this case. So, but full of water with this vent closed, it didn't leak. But I've got that little vent, and then once you vent that, they work very well. Get that open, and it opens the air, and then it's nice and free flow. So if you're going to set up something like this, it's good to have a little vent or something set up in your container. Obviously it won't work on every situation, only because it depends on how you got your containers mounted and all that stuff. But just just to answer a couple questions. And again, there's nothing unique about my setup other than the fact of I just put it together as a little kit with the spacers and gasket. But that's it. So if you have any more questions on those, just let me know. I do have those on the website now. If you have any questions on it, just let me know. I did get questions on, why is it so expensive? And it's not really expensive. It's basically kind of the same pricing as most everybody else has them. And to answer that, it's just, well, I'm buying the spigots, I'm buying the stainless caps, I'm having all the spacers and gaskets laser cut. So, there is some process into it. So it does cost a little bit to do that. Obviously you can do something like this as DIY. If you have the ability to make your own spacers and gaskets, it's pretty easy to do. So, but mainly I'm just putting it together as a kit just to make it easy for some people who might not have the access to do the cutting for those things. So if you have any more questions on these, let me know. Again, they're up on the website, 813fabrication.com. Thanks.